Hello everybody, what is up? My name is Zero Solstice, and how are you all doing today? I'm doing quite alright. I have been playing the Battlefield Hardline Beta, and I started playing the beta a couple days ago. I got accepted for the beta during my college orientation. So over the past week I've been, since my last upload I should say, I've graduated high school. I went to my college orientation, and I've been working like a smart individual who needs to earn money to pay for his living, and I've been playing some of the Hardline Beta, among other things. And so far, I can honestly say I think Hardline has a really, really nice foundation and a really, really good concept. And I say that with the thought in mind of I'm not looking at this game in terms of what it should compare to, as much as I'm looking at the game in terms of what it is in of itself and what it's trying to be. And what it's trying to be is a appropriate war-oriented, not war-oriented spin on the classic concept of cops and robbers. And Battlefield does a really good job of it by implementing all these nice... Basically, the game is really nice because it takes an awesome, well-known concept and it applies Battlefield fundamentals to add depth and playability and just all kinds of different intrinsic mechanics to the game so that they can just really elaborate on the idea of cops and robbers and make it a much more fluid and deep experience. So if you look at it in terms of what it's trying to be, which is a radically different and in-depth take on cops and robbers, I think so far they're doing an awesome idea. It's a lot of fun to play. It's got great flow. The games can be really lopsided because if you, obviously you have teams that are coordinated versus teams that aren't coordinated, players that know how to play a game versus players that don't know which way is up, all these different variables. But so far it really seems like the game could absolutely go either way for the cops or the robbers. The robbers, if they know exactly what they're doing, it's really not that uncommon to have games in the beta that literally last for 2.5 minutes because the robbers just get everything done on the spot and they just win the game right then and there. And it's pretty crazy. So the flow is quite there and it's really good. It's a lot of fun to play. The hit detection is incredible, and that's the next major thing I wanted to talk about with the beta. The game doesn't really feel like your average Battlefield does. Like, the flow is different somewhat from your average Battlefield, like Battlefield 4 being the most recent. And I believe you can attribute that fact to the reason that Battlefield Hardline runs completely off of the new netcode that Battlefield recently updated all of their servers and clients and games with. So, if you've been playing Battlefield 4 since launch, you know that in Battlefield 4, the netcode originally was pretty flawed. So, hit detection was hit or miss, pun intended. Graphical lineup of objects and destruction wasn't always on par. Delay, just general lag-based delay and things like that. It was just the game was just it felt just behind. And recently DICE implemented a new netcode in Battlefield 4, which via accessing all the appropriate settings and whatnot, actually makes the flow of the game much, 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 much better. And it's really, really nice now. And I feel like, I'm pretty sure the major thing about the flow in Hardline that makes it not feel like Battlefield is the fact that Hardline came out after the netcode update, which means Hardline is completely based connection-wise off of the new netcode, which ultimately means Hardline doesn't not feel like Battlefield. Hardline feels like what Battlefield should have felt like from the start. Battlefield 4 feels like what Hardline feels like, or Battlefield 4 should have felt like what Hardline feels like since launch week. But because the netcode was so screwed up, it was just, it just wasn't there. And that's an awesome thing, I think. Because not only does it mean that this game has an awesome flow and it just feels great and all that, but it also means that now Battlefield 4 is generally up to that same standard. So if you have not played Battlefield 4 recently, I highly recommend you go back and try it, because the new netcode is awesome. Anyway, that closes out this game. 5-1, R700, pretty basic stuff, just some gameplay to show you guys I'm playing. I've got more coming, hopefully. Yeah, alright, I think that pretty much does it. If you haven't played Battlefield 4 in a while, go ahead and load that shit up, try that out. My name is Zero Solstice. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I think that cuts it. Peace!